5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please.
अमित,
सर आवाज आ रही है?
Yeah, very clear.
Good evening, everyone, and
Good
welcome
evening.
you all on today's webinar organized by Bhinder CA Social Group on the right to information. I first of all I welcome our today's speaker, Amit ji, and our other prime member, CA Sandeep Jain, CA Nitesh Kothari, and CA Nikunj Bangeria. Our today's guest speaker, welcome for guest CA Preeti Agrawal, our coordinator Sajanji Agrawal, Tarun Dunn, Akash Agrawal, and all our other senior members. So with this, and I hope everyone are healthy, good at home. So with this, I request, without taking much time, I request our guest, CA Preeti Agrawal, madam, to give welcome note.
Thank you, Amit. Am I audible?
Yes, madam, you are audible.
Yes, madam.
Thank you, Amit. On behalf of Bhinder CA Social Group, myself, CA Preeti Agrawal, welcomes you all participants in today's webinar on Right to Information and PG Portal. Bhinder CA Social Group is a unique community which is doing a lot of social and professional work for CA fraternity and also public at large. Bhinder CA Social Group is very active in all fields. But there is one important thing to mention about it, that it does not have any official platform or support from ICAI, but it has great spirit of highly motivated and dedicated group members. That's why this BCASG is continuously doing good professional and so last 1 year of pandemic, BCSG organized many webinars on various relevant and useful topics like bank audit, income tax amendments, investment and trading opportunities in stock market, advanced Excel course, etc. Besides these, many motivational, stress management, and yoga webinars were also organized, which was the need of our and high. At present, BCSG is conducting Lockdown Special Knowledge Series 2021. This series is designed to enhance our knowledge on legal rights and opportunities, as ignorance of law is not an excuse. First webinar of this series was held on 30th April, in which we learned on alternative dispute resolution with arbitration and writ petition from expert faculty. In continuation of this series, today is our second meeting and our today's topic is Right to Information and PG Portal. I think right to information is to empower the citizens, promote transparency and accountability in the working of the government and make our democracy work for the people in real sense. We are fortunate enough to have a very learned and great speaker for today's session, Advocate Amit Mehtaji with us. A warm welcome to Amit ji from all BCSG members and thanks a lot for accepting our invitation. Now we all are very eager to hear from Amit ji. Wishing all participants a great learning session. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, madam, for your kind words. And now I request CA Sajan Agrawal ji to kindly introduce our today's faculty, CA Amit Mehta ji.
Thank you, Sandeep ji, for giving me this opportunity. Friends, good morning, good evening, friends. Our today's speaker, Sri Advocate Sri Amit ji Mehta, is the managing partner of law firm Solicits Lex. Advocate Amit B. Mehta is an engineering graduate BE from the Pune University. He has completed his International Trade Management Forum NHIMS. He did his MBA Finance from Leeds University Business School, United Kingdom. Subsequently, he completed his law LLB from Mumbai University. He also completed a professional course in merger and acquisition from London Business School. He was one of the committee members during drafting of RERA bill. His area of practice are in criminals, property, redevelopment, conveyance, NCLT, and merger and acquisition matter. He has co-authored many books such as Conveyance Deed, Redevelopment, Criminal Law, and Ready Reckoner for the Stamp Duty and Market Valuation for 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 17, and so on. He is a member and trustee in many organizations. He is also associated with many companies in capacity as a director. His articles are regularly covered in most of the newspapers, and he is a frequent speaker in various news channels. Friends, Advocate Sri Amit Ji is a recipient of various awards, namely the Best Advocate and Legal Advisor by Newspaper, Tabloid Accommodation, Times for the year 2013. Maharashtra Gaurav Award for Property Matter in the year 2014, and USA Congressional Parliament Award 18th District in the year 2015 at Houston, Texas. Again, in National Real Estate Award 2016, Khubsurat Jewel of India Award 2017, Pride of Nation India, Greatest Brand and Leader 2018, and Best Legal Advisor Bright Award 2019. Friends, political icon of the Mumbai 2019 by the Lokmat Group. Friends, with this, I present Amit Ji to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I request our today's faculty to take the charge, the Amit Mehta ji. We also welcome our RCM sir, Vimal Agrawal ji, and our Vasai branch committee member, CA Vijendra Jain.
Would I just start or we are waiting for someone?
You can start, sir.
Sir, please go ahead.
Okay. So thank you very much and good afternoon to all of you. In these times of pandemic, this is the one of the only motivation factor which keeps us all intellectuals together, especially when lawyers, CAs, architects, and doctors, they interact with each other. It's always very useful. It's an intellectual interaction, and I've been participating with a lot of CA forums in the last about 3 years, especially in the CA office in BKC. We also keep on getting some news or the other, especially on demise of some of our close friends in these times of pandemic. And yesterday I just got a call of a daughter of a very leading chartered accountant from Andheri called Kamlesh Kothari. You all may be knowing him. He expired yesterday morning, and it was really a shock when some of our fraternity friends and the family members interact with us and give us some bad news like this. We are a leading law firm in India. We are more than 200 lawyers, all working on single office. We are having and practicing in almost all areas of law, and we have about 9 offices within India and 8 offices outside India. So we're well spread across the globe. I am the managing partner of the firm, and in this CA fraternity, I have lots of friends who keep on coming to office, and we have lots of matters also going on together when my friends, CA friends, keep on submitting and giving some reference or the other. I'm going to be very brief about my presentation, even though the slides look like 33 slides, but they are not less than few minutes for each of them to be explained. But I will give a very fair chance and go in very much detail about RTI Act, because ultimately it's a legal framework under which this act has been framed. I was also wondering I would speak on some other subjects, but this is so basic that I think this is one of the good subjects on which we should highlight also. So let me thanks my friend Sajjan ji, Sandeep Jain, Preeti Agarwal, Nitesh Kothari, Akash Agarwal, Amit Agarwal, Nikunj Bangeria, Tarun Dhand, and the entire Bhinder CS social group. So thank you all. Let me first start with this, that the right to information, it started in year 2005. So I'll be quick in just giving some basic information. The Constitution of India was established, and based on which this vital information, that is sharing of information to maintain transparency, was very, very important. So in 2005, the President of India gave an assent to this act, and that's how the RTA came into the existence. The revelation of this information is actual practice is likely to conflict with other public interest that includes efficient operations of the government. It may be sometimes related to Army, Navy, Air Force, maybe some departments which are not in a position to give information which we desire to have. So the definition of obviously information, I would not like to go into definition, but information is sharing of knowledge, sharing of the opinions, advice, or documents on record with a particular authority, which is either government or maybe semi-government of organization, which come under the purview of right to information, and that is under section 2F. So what is public authority? Under section 2H. So that means any authority or body or institution of self-government established or constituted by or under the Constitution or by other law made by the Parliament or by the state legislature or any other appropriate government authority which has been existing through a notification. And it also includes a body owned, controlled, or substantially financed by the government or non-government organization. The right to information comes under the section 2J. It means the right to have access to the documents for either inspection of work, documents on record, taking notes, extracts, or taking certified copies which are already on record, or taking samples of the material, obtaining information through disk, floppies, tapes, videos, cassettes, or any other electronic modes based on which, or even your CCD footage, all these things come under the right to information. Most important, section 3, it is subject to the provisions of this act. All citizens shall have the right to information. So every person who is a citizen of India has the right and is also empowered to execute his fundamental right of taking the information under this act. The key and the heart of RTI Act is that every public authority shall maintain all its records fully catalogued and indexed in the manner and the form which facilitates the right to information under this act. Even though I have defined it in such a way that it has to be articulated and managed and also indexed properly with the department, but in the real life it doesn't happen, and that we'll discuss it later. Yeah.
Just one request, sir. Could you just switch to presentation mode, the slideshow mode?
Yeah.
So it will be easier for those who are using mobile screens.
Yeah. Am I clearly audible, na?
Yes, sir. You are audible and visible absolutely clearly. It's only the presentation has to be in the slideshow mode, so it will be easier.
In the slideshow, you're saying?
Slideshow mode, yes, sir.
Okay. That's
yes.
okay?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the section 4 suo motu disclosures. So there are 17 points under the section, such that other than the information as may be prescribed, the heart or of the RTA Act, the unsatisfactory implementation, the computerization, the proper implementation would improve working efficiency. It would also make the PIO's job easier. And over 50% RTA applications seek information which should be available under section 4. There are top 10 categories of that. Now, every office to have a PIO. So section 5 of the Act provides that every public authority shall, within 100 days of enactment of this act, shall designate as many officers as the CPIO or SPIO, that is the state and the central officers, as the case may be, in all administrative units or offices under it, as may be necessary to provide under this act. So section 6 provides a request for obtaining information. So any person desires to obtain any information under this act shall make a request in a English language or regional language and is eligible to take the information from the particular department. He or she obviously need to write some reasons. So there should be sufficient reasoning why the information is required. It is not necessary that you need to be connected with that particular issue, but it is important that you have to share your personal information and contact details before you go and seek information. Now, let's come to the disposal of the request. On receipt of a request under section 6, the PIO is supposed to expedite all the information that is required by the seeker, and he may also reject. That also has to be done a reasonable time as specified in this sections 8 and 9. If the PIO fails to give decision on the request for information with the period specified, as per subsection, the PIO shall be deemed to have refused the request. The PIO must also give details of further fees representing the cost of providing information. So obviously, when you are asking some information from the government department, they would charge for two reasons. One, the photocopying of those documents, and second, the time which has been invested by the authority or by the person who is looking after this affair. And that cost also needs to be normally covered, but at a very reasonable rate. A person making request for the information shall be provided the information free of charge. You may note this issue also, where a public authority fails to comply within the time limits as specified in the subsection 1, that is within 30 days. So 30 days period, how it is calculated? The PIO receives RTA application, that is day 1. Then after X days, the PIO sends letter asking additional fees, that is 30 clock days stops there. Additional fees paid, that is 30 days clock starts from there, and information sent after Y days. So X plus Y less than or is equal to 30 days. That's how they calculate. This is a very simple mathematics I was showing. If the RTA application is transferred in 35 days. So RTI is basically a fundamental right under Article 19(1), first, which guarantees the freedom of speech and expression. Various Supreme Court judgments have held that this includes right to information and right to publish. The only permissible restrictions are given in Article 19, which permits reasonable restrictions in the interest of the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency or morality, or in relation to the contempt of court, defamation, or incitement to an offense. What is there which is exempted? So exemptions from the disclosures of information under section 8, notwithstanding anything contained in this act, there shall be no obligation to give any citizen information disclosure of which would prejudice affect the sovereignty and integrity of India. Also, which has been forbidden to be published by any court of law or tribunal, or disclosure of which may constitute contempt of court. So there are lots of times there are orders passed, like you would have known the Neera Radia case, which is a very famous case, where Mr. Tata, he had specifically taken an injunction from the court to ensure that no public gets the information about that case, and it was granted to him. At the same time, information, the disclosure of which would cause a breach of privilege of parliament or the state legislature. There are certain other things also which may be withheld, or you may not be allowed to look at. Information received in confidence from the foreign government, maybe something which is related to the diplomats and the foreign departments, something which is of intellectual or trade secrets of the companies or third party, or official information transmitted from one country to another country, or information that is disclosure which would endanger the life or physical safety of any person, or identify the source of information or assistance given in confidence for law enforcement or for security purposes, or information which would impede the process of investigation or apprehension for prosecution of offenders. You may also be restricted to have information about the cabinet meetings or the resolutions, notifications, or minutes of meeting passed in the cabinet meeting, because those may not necessarily be a public document, or decisions of councils of ministers which necessarily may implicate or may be detrimental to the state. Any information which is also covered in the Official Secrets Act of 1923 that may also be exempted in giving the information out to the public, or information which is centralized in nature, or the state has the complete ownership and it may warrant some sort of invasion to the privacy of the government itself, that also may not be given to the public at large. Now, supposingly you are getting a negative reply or your application rejected, then under section 19 you can go for the appeal also. Please note that this act was very important and was one of the turning points in this country, because the information what people want and what they are getting, they have their own fundamental rights, but time and again the governments have been rejecting this applications of people, and today because of the RTI Act we are empowered today to seek all the information that we desire, which we are interested in, or which may be of use even for public or social cause also. Now, if you go for appeal, the first appeal to the first appellate authority is within 30 days. For not getting information, incomplete information, or wrong information, for all these reasons, you are eligible to go for appeal. The appeal should be decided in 30 to 45 days time. And the first appeal application, if the result of the first appeal is not satisfactory, you can also file a second appeal to the commission within 90 days. So section 19(5), the onus is on the PIO that denies you information and which you think you were justified to getting. However, the department has denied you getting the information. The section 20, if the information is denied without reasonable cause, the commission must penalize the PIO, that is a deemed PIO, at rupees 250 per day, and this has actually been executed properly. This is just for information that if possibly you are denied any information or it is rejected, then the fine is being levied on the PIO and it is on the per day basis. A maximum penalty of 25,000 rupees is put on the PIO, and that is to be shelved out from his personal account, giving it to the person who is actually seeking information. The commission can also seek disciplinary action against such arrogant officers, and compensation is to be paid to the applicant at large, because the applicant has been giving his time, energy, and money spending, and still he is denied and getting no information from this particular PI or the department. The section 22, the provision of this act shall have effect notwithstanding anything inconsistent therewith contained in the Official Secrets Act, which I had discussed earlier, or which is already being in force and which is against the law as far as this act is concerned. Appeals. RTI application information in 30 days. If no information provided or unsatisfactory response, then first appeal will be filed within 30 days of the response or 60 days in case of no response. First appellate authority order after hearing within 45 days. If unsatisfactory order or no response, second appeal to the commission within 90 days. You may have also a question, what if I don't get an answer even of 90 days? Then we can directly go to the courts and seek information. And I'll give example as far as a conveyance of a society was concerned. And why I want to share this information, because this is one of the classic case which we had won in the High Court, and the information was so quick and fast when the matter went to the High Court that the department people were all on the complete pressure of the court. And it so happened that we were, and this example is important so you know how we also operate as lawyers and how you can still seek information if this department doesn't cooperate with you. There was a particular application of conveyance which was submitted to a sub-registrar in a particular ward in Mumbai. Now what happened, when this application went to the sub-registrar's office for stamping, the documents were not traceable even after 100 days. So the secretary and chairman, they approached us seeking information. Amit sir, how can we retrieve these our documents? I told first you put an RTA application. So based on our instruction, they put first RTA application. The application went to the sub-register office, and even after 30 days, he did not respond. That means either someone has played with those documents or genuinely they are not traceable. So based on that, the society came and told that there is no reply. So we told you go on the first appeal. So they went on the first appeal, and even after the first appeal, even within 60 days, the answer was not received from the department. Then we went to the commission for the second appeal. Even after those 90 days, there was no reply. So we have already consumed almost about 150 days seeking information. So we decided nothing doing now, let's directly go to the High Court. So on a particular day, this matter went to the High Court, and it came under Justice Kathawala. So he asked us, what is the issue? So I told him that, sir, we have been running here and there. This society is in a dilapidated condition. The developer is not able to develop because the conveyance documents are not in place. So the first question the judge asked was, have you exhausted all your remedies? So I showed him the documents of RTA application, which was done in 30 days time, one appeal in 60 days, and the second appeal in 90 days time. So he called the officer of the sub-registrar's office, and he told, why are you not able to trace the documents? Where are the documents? So he told, sir, we are not getting those documents, and I'll try to retrieve. So the judge gave them 30 days time. So the hearing was on 1st of October. I correctly remember that date because it was the 1st of October. And on 1st of November, the judge has placed against the matter. So on 1st of November, Justice Kathawala called the sub-registrar's person and told, have you still received the documents? She told, no, sir, it is missing. So what the judge did, he told, I am giving the last chance now. If after 30 days from now, that is on 1st of December, if you don't get the documents which were with the society has been seeking under RTA, then I will pass strictures against not just you, not just the sub-register, but also the department IS officer, the under-secretary and the chief secretary under whom this department is. Now see what happened after that. This order was passed by Justice Kathawala on 1st of November. And on 30th of November, okay, I get a call that I am from the sub-register office, because now the matter is with us. So obviously they have our numbers. He said, we are still not getting the documents. So I told them, I have no answer for this. You have to go and answer Justice Kathawala tomorrow morning. And this call had come in the afternoon at 2 o'clock on 30th of November. On 1st of December, my matter was placed at serial number 2. And I saw one person running and coming inside the court. Now the serial number 1 was going on. So that person, he had come with a bag in his hand and he was sitting just behind me. So I saw that person, he was the same person who had come earlier also. So I just looked at him. So he showed me a bag which is there in his hand. And in the meantime, my matter was called out by Justice Kathawala. So when I stood up in the court, so I told, sir, I have still not received the documents. And yesterday, in fact, I got a call from the gentleman who is sitting behind me that the document is still not traceable. So Justice Kathawala told, yes, Mr. So-and-so, is the document traceable of this society because they want the conveyance document urgently. So he told, yes, sir. Yesterday afternoon, I traveled to Pune. In Pune, there is a special go down. And by mistake, the documents had gone to the Pune department. And yesterday I went personally to the department in Pune. I retrieved all the documents and I came directly in the car in the morning by 6 o'clock. I left from there and I reached here to the court directly from Pune. And that's how we retrieved this document, which the society was trying to seek as far as the conveyance was concerned, because it was in deliberate condition. And if I had not got those documents, this society would have collapsed in 6 to 8 months' time, because they had already got the section 354 notice from the BMC also. So this is one of the examples which I wanted to share with you, because it is one of the classic case by which you know that how we lawyers also get the information from the department if the department purposely also do not act on the person who is seeking the information. Many times you also get a negative thought that possibly a developer who may be interested party, he may have gone and managed the employee in the department, and possibly because of that my documents are not traceable. So these negative thoughts also come in the mind, in our minds, because many times what happens, there are ulterior motives by certain people, and the first thing that comes is always a negative thought in the minds. But as a chartered accountant, as a lawyer, maybe as an architect, we should always have a proper strategy in place. What should come first and what should come second in the sequence of information that we are seeking from the department. I'm not going to a lot of details of the format, but this is a very basic format by which we can normally get the information. This is a format that is application, our name, address, subject matter of information, the period in which the information is related, and not more than 150 words. You can seek the information by writing a small short synopsis or the summary. So date on which application received, name and designation of officer receiving it, action taken, and day on which it is forwarded to the next officer or the office. And details of ours like Aadhaar card, PAN card, rationing card is also attached with the application, so they can get our details also. So this is the basic example, you know, Shailesh Gandhi, who was a first chief information commissioner. So he was one of the persons who were instrumental as far as even this act was concerned, because he had done a lot of shaping in this act also. Now, this is the format of first appeal. That is first appellate authority and how it goes ahead. So it is the same repeat, but the date of receipt of the order appeal against is given, the last day of filing the appeal is mentioned, and the grounds of appeal are given. So you need to mention why I have come to you and what are the grounds of appeal. So these are the details which you mentioned, and the particulars of the information, the date, the place, and the signature of the appellant. The subject matters need to be mentioned very clearly. The information in the period, the description, and we want what? We want a photocopy, we want a certified copy, we want the entire document. All these details need to be mentioned in that. These are the examples which are given in this. I can also seek inspection and of documents also. I do not necessarily need to take a copy of that. I may just go and inspect a document also. In Maharashtra state, the application fee is ₹10. That is a court fee to attach. And the second appeals are ₹20. The most convenient way to affix the court fee stamps, send an application, appeal by Speed Post AD. Speed Post AD. Online RT applications are also entertained, and fees are paid by credit cards. And that is the website rtaonline.maharashtra.gov.in. The central government also has a particular format, similar way, online and physical both. There are no fees for the appeal, and cic.gov.in. So friends, this is the basic information which normally we take from. I would also like to inform about two more things. Let me just speak on certain things. Yeah, many times you may also go to the court seeking some information which actually is forbidden by the RT applicant, but it is not necessary that the court may also forbid you. I'll give you example. Rafale's fighter jets. The court may seek information and keep the information itself, but it may only reveal a particular part of information only which the person has approached to the court for. So that possibility is always there. There are certain times which are copyrights. Now, you know, there is a Copyright Act also existing in the country. So there it also happens that under the Copyright Act and a matter in the High Court, the High Court may prevail upon as far as the orders are concerned. So the Copyright Department may not give you, but the High Court may permit still. Now, many times we may also seek information as far as the Army, Navy, or Air Force is concerned. Many times about the RAW, the Intelligence Bureau, because there are lots of, we have questions in mind, or we as a citizen, or maybe as an alert citizen, we may be slightly extra, excited, or maybe extra, the right word will be, we will be extra careful for and maybe caring for our nation. So many times we may be also seeking some information which are extremely sensitive. So those can always be denied. And it is not necessary that the court may give permission for those things. Now, one important and last thing I would like to specify. Yes, the PIO may also seek information from you in this 30 days time. What may happen that supposedly I have 30 days in hand of getting information. It so can happen that on the 10th day, the PIO may contact you back asking for some clarifications. So in that case, the PIO also may get extension as far as giving information is concerned. The reply may not be predated. And last but not the least, kindly ensure that the records are duly catalogued and maintained as far as you are concerned, because in case you get the information from the department and you lose it, then the department may not cooperate with you for the second time. There are useful links which I shared as far as central and the state government are concerned. But if in doubt whether to disclose info or not, then the info should be disclosed if it is a larger public interest, or it has to be disclosed to the parliament or the legislature. Because many times when we are seeking information, but if it is in the larger public interest, then the government and the courts would 100% cooperate with us and give us the information. Thank you very much, friends. And you can ask me some questions. Even if there are questions which is related to the courts, I will answer those questions also. Yeah, I think the host can unmute people, so they can just, you please unmute yourself and you can ask the question. Am I audible, Sajjan?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yeah, so you can unmute people if they want to ask questions. I'll first go to the chat box. Okay, please share the PPT to the CA group. I already shared it with Sajjan or
Yes, sir.
Sandeep. I already mailed it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second question is the government
Okay,
hospital.
we will be sharing it in a while.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Is the government hospital and presently government run COVID center come under the RT Act? The answer is yes. You can take the information from the government, but they may not necessarily cooperate with you, and the appeal may go for weeks or months because it may be a sensitive issue. So the answer is yes, it comes under the RT Act, but it all depends upon the discretion of the PIO. Then RTA applies to such files which are untraceable in court too. The answer is no. This is not a department for this. You don't have to put a RTA, you have to put a letter to a register in the that's called Prothonothery register, where you have to put an application, and based on that application, you can seek information from the court. Can we get the income tax department related status and demand reports? The answer is no. You will not get those details from income tax department unless until it is your personal information only. Yes, any other questions? Because I have already answered all the questions in the chat box.
Sir, one question is there from Dr. Sharad Jainji. I would request all the participants to please type the questions on the chat box because it won't be possible for us to unmute all of them. So we will be answering one by one questions in the chat box.
Yeah, Dr. Sharad is asking to unmute him. I think you can unmute the person who wants to talk.
Sharadji,
Yeah.
Sharadji, I have unmuted you already.
Yeah, Sharadji,
thank you.
boliye, hi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It was really a very pleasant presentation, which I had seen now. Only one question, which is related to the RTI. Recently, I made one kind of a RTI request to the DISH office. DISH is nothing but a Directorate of Industrial Safety and Health.
Hmm.
And that has gone through the Labor Department. They had sent one letter to the local authorities also, but
Right.
I have not yet received any response from that local authorities. So am I supposed to go back to the again Labor Department saying that also I did. Again, I have sent a mail to those authorities saying that I have not received any communication from local office.
See, the answer is that, have you gone for appeal?
No, not yet.
I am of the opinion you should first go for appeal. See, if it is so important information for you, at least you
Yeah.
immediately go and file appeal, because what will happen, otherwise they will put you from table to table and you will keep on seeking information in the same, you'll be at the same stage of the RTA application. My
Okay.
submission, you immediately go for appeal. Don't go from table to table and don't make also run around here and there.
Okay, sir. I'm so sorry. I joined late. What is the procedure for appeal?
I think my colleagues Sajjan Agarwal or Sandeep may mail you the format and everything. This is all mentioned in the PPT also.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
One question is from Mr. Iswaral Mehta, whether member of society can ask by way of RTA from the committee of society. The answer is no, but you have section 32 of the MCS Act, under which you can seek the information. You don't require to have RTA. You already covered under section 32 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act.
Members, any other queries? Sir, should I read them out? We got two queries again.
Yeah, I got one from Nitesh Kothari. Can we get information from income department? The answer is no. Why stock exchanges and depositors are outside RTA even when they have been given authority by SEBI? Yes, I'll slightly differentiate here. Please understand the difference between an RTA application and an application to a department for seeking a certified copy. Now, sub-register offices, SEBI, or even this SEBI semi-tribunals, okay, you can always take information for a particular issue where you are connected with, because many of the departments may not cooperate with you because you may be seeking information for someone else also. So you may slightly have to differentiate between an RTA application and an application for taking a certified copy. All departments may not necessarily cooperate with you in getting the copies from a department for which you're seeking from other person for other purpose also. It is only specifically, if you seek information for your related issues, then they will cooperate. Otherwise, they may not necessarily give information of someone else which you are seeking. Niteshji, I already answered your query. on the CIT. Yeah, how to use the public grievance portal. So there are two types of portal. One is the state government and one is the central government. The central government is normally called as CPGRAMS. That means it is called the Centralized Public Grievance Redress and Monitoring System. So you can seek the information from there and you may be able to get the answer within 30 days time. However, it is my submission that it's better to put an RTA application rather than going through a PG portal, because the PG portals in India are not so well maintained and well managed. So my submission will be to go through an RTA application or seeking information through an application for getting a certified copy. Does the department obtain confirmation from other party in which the person wants information? The answer is yes. It can still seek information from the other party. If the society is not getting information, even under application 32, yes, you can directly go to deputy register. The first authority, I'm answering question of Bhadresh Shah. If the society doesn't cooperate with you, you can directly put an application to the deputy register. You cannot go to cooperative court because jurisdiction for getting certified copies come under deputy register. If deputy register doesn't answer, then it goes to divisional joint register, that is called DJR, and then it goes to the Mantralaya, that is the concerned minister, and then to the High Court. If the other party is denying to give information, then what is the recourse? You can directly go to the court and make him a party. I'll give you an example. If there are two landlords on a particular plot who are brothers and they are fighting on a particular information, and one brother is not giving information to another brother who is also a landlord, then he can directly go and take information through the court, because that is the place where he will ultimately have to give information. Is bank also under RTI? The answer is yes and no both. Certain information in the banks which are of public in nature, you can get information, like you are seeking example from the bank, what is your turnover, how many clients you have, how many people have opened bank accounts in your bank. The answer is yes, you can get. But tomorrow you tell me what is Amit Mehta's locker number in the bank, you will not get the information.
Members, any other queries, please?
Can we apply income tax for inspection of file and certified copy under RTI? I think it is, if it is pertaining to your own client, the answer is yes, otherwise no. See, now though you know, even though I'm not a CA, at least I keep some information. Now it has become faceless as far as seeking information is concerned, and even filing is concerned. So I think now the times have slightly changed. So you may have to, take out some unique methods and systems by which you can seek information of files.
I believe all the queries have been answered, sir.
Yes.
You have diligently answered all the queries. You have not left anyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for answering all the queries and for such a wonderful session. Any other queries, ma'am? Now I request our coordinator, CA Tarun Danji, to kindly give formal vote of thanks. Tarun bhai, over to you. Tarun bhai. I think he is not there. Now I request CA Nikunj Bangaria, our prime mover, to give formal vote of thanks. Nikunj, over to you.
Thank you so much, Amit.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amit ji, sir, for giving a power-packed presentation in such a restricted time. And in fact, in your initial part of the presentation itself, you had stressed upon the fact that although this is very basic, but this is very, very fundamentally important for all of us to know the Right to Information Act and its nitty-gritties. I'm pretty sure your session went right, right amongst the members, and it was a huge value addition, sir. Thank you so much for sparing out time and sharing your knowledge, sir. It was really a privilege for us. Thank you all the dignitaries for making out time in this difficult COVID situation. All the members who have joined in as audience, thank you so much. Over to you, Amit.
Thank you, Nikunj. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to Amit ji and all coordinators and our all prime mover members and all the participants. Members will post our upcoming events very soon in next 2 days. So you will get the details on WhatsApp also in the group and via our other mode of channel for communication. Thank you. Thanks a lot.